Because drivers are silly.
That's a very good point. In a world divided by opinions, two men risk it all to give theirs.
No one asked for our 2 cents.
I know, it's amazing. Nobody actually asked for it, but we put it out every week.
Yeah, and they just keep coming back. I guess they either love us or hate us.
I'm going with hate.
Fair. It's valid.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drives are not. I am your host, TowManG, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the tow truck operator, as it says on his shirt, Mr. PlainGuy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
Oh, well, I really like how you've got your credentials, I guess you could say, right there on your shirt, just so everyone knows it's clear that you are a tow truck operator because you got a $20 shirt off of the internet.
That is true. This shirt is probably about 8 years old. My washer shit the bed this week.
Oh.
So we're waiting on a new one to come in. So I've been scrounging to the bottom. I went to my mother's the other day to do laundry. The joys of living back in the hometown.
Ma, do you got any clothes of mine?
Yeah, Mom, my washer's broken. So anyways, I had to dig deep into the closet to find something to wear tonight, and I found this old gem of a t-shirt, and so I decided it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is a real gem.
Oh, before we get too far into it, guys, we will mention, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the website. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, everything, we've really been doing some work on the website, so everything is really coming in there, from our merchandise that's available to contact us forms, to our sponsors, our supporters that are on there. They're all linked on the website. Be sure to check them all out. So you can find that at towinglife.ca. You can email us directly at thetowinglife@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. I'm waiting for the ticker to catch up. At the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook, or you can call us at 249-666-2209. If you're watching over on YouTube, because I always forget, you can comment down below in the section. Be sure to hit a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, all those buttons. Any buttons you can find on the YouTube video, be sure to click them. It does something for us. And
even the downvote button. If you don't agree with anything that we say, which is probably, there's a good chance of that, that helps the algorithm too. So if you don't like the video, hit that downvote button too.
I thought you said download button. Down a vote. The thumbs down.
Downvote. Thumbs down.
I was like, the downloads do us good. You can't download off YouTube anymore.
You can clip, I think.
You can clip. All right. Well, be sure to take a clip. That helps the algorithm too, I think. That's what G keeps telling me, so probably I got to keep promoting it.
Who knows?
If you haven't seen already, we have been adding some merchandise to the store. A shirt very much inspired by the one TowManG is wearing right now. I'm sexy and I tow it. There's a nice tow truck operator hourly rate one, $100 to let me do my job, minimum an hour, $150 if you watch, all that good stuff. It's a pretty funny mug. And we've also got some love out there for the dispatchers. God knows I shit on them enough. But we've got some hoodies, some mugs, some shirts. Dispatch, it's like towing, but smarter.
Yeah, see, a mug with that, you give that to your dispatcher for like a Christmas gift or whatever. And every time you walk into the office after that, you can always make fun of it because you got it and it's there. Will be the running joke of the company.
Absolutely. Special shout out to Larry on that one. He knows who he is. He's the one that inspired it. I was looking at some dispatcher merch to make something, and he kind of gave me that nice little hint on the smarter side. So I appreciate the help on that. That is the help that anyone listening to the show brings in. You guys have great input. We love to hear it. So don't forget, you can check us out any of those spots.
If you have an idea of something you want on a shirt, feel free to let us know, and we will do our best to get it on a shirt for you.
Absolutely. I use the inspiration for a lot of these t-shirts for stuff G would wear.
Yeah.
because he has a lot of stupid towing clothing.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do.
and
I
so
got
that
you
is,
a stupid towing shirt before, and I think I only ever saw you wear it once.
yeah, I don't know where that shirt is right now.
Yeah.
But I would definitely wear these more than I would wear that one.
So
I hate to say it, but it's the truth, G.
it's a good thing that your washer broke because you had to go swimming and you were shirtless, right? So
Yeah,
you're already down on clothing. So at least if you go swimming, you don't need any fresh pair of clothes, right?
absolutely. You beat me to the punch on telling this story. So I had the wonderful joys. I got lucky on this one. It's going to bring us to a couple different subjects, but I got really lucky on this one. I got a call from dispatch. I wasn't working that night, but being nearby to the call, he gave me a shout and he said, "Hey, I got a weird one. I got a trailer that's stuck in the boat launch."
Oh.
I said, "Okay, we've all heard those stories. We've all been to those before."
Yeah.
And the tongue is broken off the trailer.
Oh.
So the story goes, the guy went to hook up his boat. So he backed down the boat launch. And
Mhm.
I've done this a couple times now. And every time I've done it, it's been with pontoon trailers specifically. I think it's because the bigger tires, whatever it is. Anyways, he backed off of the pad is what happened. So the axles actually were hung up on the concrete pad.
Yep.
Then he decided to put his truck in 4x4 and continue pulling, hoping that
Ah.
it would come out.
So you ripped it in two.
He didn't rip it in two. It was actually like, you ever see those bolt-on attachments where you actually put the tongue of the trailer on there, a two-bolt
Yeah,
system? It was one of those. He ripped the bolt out.
Mm.
So this trailer was now dead in the water, literally, and chained to the dock. So he called us. I get there. For those of you that don't know, it is April, and we live in Canada. It is cold.
What was this guy doing launching a boat in April to begin with?
I don't know. He had gone out for a tour. It was a bunch of young kids. Dad was there. Dad was having a good kick on this whole thing. So I get the call. I'm at home. My wife and I are watching a movie or something. And I'm like, "Hey, I gotta go." And so I start going through the house and I'm grabbing my bathing suit, a towel, and flip-flops. And she looks at me and goes, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going swimming." And I'm like, "I'm not joking." And she's like, "There's one thing I've learned in all these years of marriage to you is that you rarely are joking. If you make a stupid comment like that, chances are it's because it's actually happening." So we showed up at the scene, and the hope was, anytime you get these, I've ran into them before, sometimes you can actually lift them just by hand. You don't even need the winch, or it's close enough to the side dock that you can, go fishing with the J hook.
Yeah.
That would have been the ideal plan. Neither of those worked. So we were prepared for the worst. So I will warn you, if you're watching over on the video side, mild nudity, it's PlainGuy topless. If you are listening on the audio side, by all means, head over and listen to this on the YouTube side.
We're actually going to get fewer views on YouTube than normal this week.
Absolutely. Right. This is where the retention point is just going to drop. But we'll pull it up. So I legitimately, and we had to go full submerge into the St. Lawrence River, which it's cold. I'm still cold. Like my feet still have not warmed up from this one. I'm out there in flip-flops, sandals. The big joke was that I need to go get a company approved bathing suit so that I can be in uniform whenever I go swimming.
Yeah. With your 11X. Put an X on your ass and stripes on the front.
Exactly. So the problem was we had to get to a back cross member behind the axle to actually lift up. And then we brought the record to the water. We put the boom all the way up, and then we could pull it up from that. The photo with me giving thumbs ups, once we had it out, we were actually hooking onto the hitch.
That's a pretty big trailer, actually.
It's a big, that's what made it worse.
Yeah.
Is the point that I had to hook was farther back. So the water got deeper. By the time I was standing in front of the trailer, ready to hook it up, I was about chest high.
Oh.
And it was cold.
Just under the nipples.
Just under the nipples. And the mental preparation it took me to dip, to fully submerge. I had my strap in my hand, half hooked up, ready to go, to just go underwater, hook it on, get out of the water. And then, then to take the slack out of the winch line and be holding it. It was just, I was in there forever.
On a night that you weren't even working.
On a night that I wasn't even working. Now, I was lucky to be the fact that I was able to have stuff for that, shorts and, a bathing suit and whatever, because no one likes going out there in their work gear. Let's be
Well,
honest.
yeah,
Like,
you were at home, right? So you had the selection of stuff to pick from, right? So you
I
were
probably could
probably
have
the
picked
best person
something
to know.
warmer. Like, I probably could have pulled an Under Armour long sleeve out or something to at
Yeah.
least have a top layer to help.
Yeah, but once
Um,
you're wet, that's just gonna get wet and cold, right?
Well, that's it.
Regardless.
You dry off quick. I didn't get sick. I'm surprised. I was really expecting to get sick from that one because again,
Hmm.
it is April in Canada. The
Yeah.
rivers have not warmed up yet.
We're
They
calling
don't
for
get
snow
hot
on
until
Wednesday.
July. Yeah, it snowed the day before.
Yeah.
It actually snowed. I'm sitting there talking with the dad before we get started with this, and I can see my breath.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh man, this is really gonna suck. His son's there in his parka jacket. And I'm like, you look warm.
Here, you go hook this up for me, wouldn't you, pal?
Yeah. Well, I told the first it was gonna be both of us were gonna go out and lift up an end.
Mm.
That was the thought. And we'll winch it. And that way we have the control with the winch. And once
Yeah.
we got going on it, it was like, I went out there. I tried to lift it. I'm like, ooh, we're not going to lift this. And if we are, someone's going to slip. Someone's going to fall.
Yeah.
Our best bet. We tried even going from the tongue, lifting high on the tongue,
Mm.
hoping we could maybe get the pull without having
Yep.
to go deep into the water. It didn't work.
Hmm.
So at that point, it was all commitment. And
Hmm.
it was just go for it. We're going. We're getting wet. It's going to suck. There was a lot of curse words.
Oh, I bet.
But once it was done,
A lot of shrinkage.
A lot of shrinkage. That was the joke, is that it was, those are the stories, that's what I'd mentioned to somebody where I said, those are the stories that you remember.
Mhm.
And his exact line was, those are the stories podcasts are made of. And he couldn't be any more right. I didn't think about it at the time, but I was like, man, that is going to make for a great topic on this week's show.
Yeah, I've got another one that we're going to touch on probably closer to the end. And we were getting dinner after that story, and my one coworker looked at me and was like, "Is this going on your podcast?" And I was like, "Damn right it is."
Yeah. That is the thing. We find the inspiration, right, from pretty much our day-to-day situation. Stuff happens and you go, ooh, without naming names or without, getting anybody in trouble. That is going to be a good one. That's what I had to look. I'm like, there's no company logos, there's no anything. There's just a whole lot of topless me in the water. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like
the third time I've gone swimming. I've gone
for
swimming
towing.
at the company we work together for a
Yeah.
very exact same situation.
Yep.
Exact same situation. Just that was in July.
Yeah,
And it
a
was
little bit more
warmer.
enjoyable.
Yeah. And the other time I went, I remember, I don't know if we've talked about the story on the podcast.
Yeah,
actually,
down the river there. You
where the
rode up
lady
in the car.
pushed her car into the river
Yeah.
and I had to go swim into my boxers and socks to get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a history of going swimming. So what that has done is that has made me prepared. And one of the things we talked about, and I can't believe you don't carry one of these. And my question is to you guys, the listener or watcher, wherever you're tuning in, you carry a go bag. I have a go bag. Okay, so I'll give you a quick breakdown of this bag.
Mhm.
It's a book bag. I got one of those tactical bags. It's got, whatever, extra clips, extra whatever. It's got a sticker on it or a badge on it that says suck less and send it. And what, things to keep in a go bag, you have no idea how valuable this is, right? This go bag of mine will have always a pair of underwear and a pair of socks because you never know. You never know.
Yep.
I've had a couple toes go sideways that I almost need that pair of underwear. Granola bars.
Yeah.
Those Trail Valley, those ones that got the peanuts and the almonds.
The
and
ones
the
that if you
chocolate.
eat, you need to vacuum out your truck afterwards.
Yeah, because they like brittle apart kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Those.
Yeah.
I carry like a box of those, a Gatorade or two. I'm a long trips, love sunflower seeds, so I'll throw some in there.
I hated driving your truck after you.
I know I've gotten much better about that.
Okay, that's
you
good.
try to throw them out the window every time. You'd end up with half of them back in the truck. Yeah, it didn't work well.
Every time you put up the window, there's one that's riding up the window.
Double cup your Timmy's coffee. Take the second cup. Use it.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
even if I ask
no,
you.
they do it in the town that I live in because they hate the environment, and I support them for it. Because every other town that I've been to, I will ask for a second cup, and the bastards will give me a sleeve.
Yeah.
And in this town, I will ask for a double cup, and never once have they said, do you mean a sleeve? They've always just double cupped it. So they hate the environment, and I support them for it. Bad enough they change my lids, they can leave me have my double cups. I drink my coffee black, so yes, it's going to make me sound sensitive. You want that second cup.
Yeah,
you can't drink the damn thing for half an hour. So you want that second cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, so snacks and drinks, a Gatorade or something. A perfect example. I was out at a wreck the other day. We ended up out there much later than I thought we were going to be. I just went out for a little bit. It turned into longer. We were draining some tanks, doing some kind of environmental work. And I went, man, I haven't eaten dinner. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm starving. Oh yeah, I have my go bag in the truck.
Yeah.
Couple granola bars and a Gatorade got me through another couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Socks, underwear. I keep a solar power pack with chargers for my phone. I normally have them plugged into the truck, but I always got an extra charger in there for that.
Yeah.
My booster pack, my old GB40, I keep it in there. If you ever need a spare booster pack, it's charged. Or if you ever need a power bank, it's charged. You're out on the road, guys. We do these calls. We never know. It all depends on your work too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I work for a company where I'm lucky enough that nothing is the same day after day.
Yeah.
We do some wild stuff. As you guys have seen videos or heard us talk about stories. So you never know when you get the call how long you're going to be gone for, right? A 5-minute job is one fuck up away from being a couple hour job.
Mm-hmm.
So having that stuff, having those socks and underwear for when you go swimming, that is one thing I've done since the day I started towing. I always had a bag somewhere in my truck normally, even when we worked together. It was normally a plastic bag tucked under the seat, and it was socks and underwear. Because there would be that time you'd go swimming, or that time that you crawl into a swamp or something to hook up a car. God, it is nice when you can put fresh socks and fresh underwear on after.
I normally keep an extra pair of boots. Like normally I've got my ski boots in my pickup. I've got a set of coveralls, rain jacket, an extra sweater, that kind of stuff. But sometimes I'll bring that stuff with me. If it's snowing, I'm normally already wearing my coveralls and that kind of stuff. And I'm sure I've got an extra pair of socks and underwear somewhere in the backseat of my truck. It's just normally, like for me, I'm working out of town, right? So if I get wet and I get soaked, even if I put on an extra pair of underwear or pair of socks, I'm still going to be wet and soaked and uncomfortable, right? So I might as well just save my washing machine and just suck it up for the rest of the day and go home and wash it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't say I've ever really brought a go bag. Don't get me wrong. Having snacks in the truck is awesome. Great idea.
Yeah, you end up somewhere you can't stop, right? We've seen that. Or you end up, you break down on the side of the road under tow. God knows. Stuff like that happens, right? We get stranded out places. So just having that, backup is nice. And that's my thing. I don't take it every time I go out on the road for the most part, right? But it'll be like, hey, you got a run going 2 hours away. Cool, grab my go bag. Okay, we're heading out to Iraq. Cool, grab my go bag.
Yeah.
And then once, you know what I mean? Once I've depleted it, which happens, you bring it home, you stock it back up, and it just sits there. For the most part, it sits on a hook at the shop, ready to go. As soon as I hear, hey, we've got a wreck to go to, I grab the go bag. Spare set of gloves. You know what I mean? There's so much you can carry, and it's a book bag. It doesn't take up all that much space.
No.
In your day
you can normally shove it underneath the back seat or behind a seat if you're in a regular cab or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. It's something you can throw on the seat somewhere under the seat, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So I highly encourage it. Again, with the craziness of our job, it's kind of nice to have. And if you keep up on it, I've got extra attachments now I bought to try and clip on extra water bottles, different things like that. It doubles as a hiking backpack when I go out with the dog and stuff. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, a multi-purpose bag, right?
Absolutely. And like I said, you never get stuck, because there's nothing worse than, like I said, I get cranky when I get hungry. I don't know about you, but I get cranky when I get hungry.
Yeah. You should really carry a candle, like a little tea candle in that bag as well.
Why?
So if you ever break down in the winter, and if you light that tea candle and you leave one of your windows open just a crack, just enough to let the smoke out, that will actually keep your cab above freezing for the duration of the candle.
I don't think that's a true scientific statement.
It's what I've been told.
A tea candle will keep your cab above freezing. Okay, how cold does it have to be outside? It has to be above freezing outside for that to work.
It will help keep you a little bit warm, give you a little bit of light, right? It's something that can help.
I mean, in the wintertime, if you're not geared up enough that you can't sit a couple hours in your truck without heat, then you're not gearing up right for the winter.
But you'd be surprised how many people drive around in the winter with shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah,
cars, not
my tow operators. Not tow operators in the wintertime.
You never know.
I would like to find the tow operator who is wearing sandals and a t-shirt in the middle of wintertime. Well, wintertime in Florida, maybe. Wintertime in Canada, man. If you were leaving the house wearing, not even wearing long johns, you are taking your life in your own hands.
The wind hurts your face here.
Yeah. Why do I live where the wind hurts my face? No, it's 100% true.
Oh,
It's 100% true. So no, those things are absolutely important. Yeah. So get your grow bag. You want a full list? Send me an email. I'll give you a full list of everything I keep in mind. Got an idea for something that I haven't thought about?
that's
By
a
all
product.
means.
That's a product we could put on our website. Is ready to go bags.
Ooh, granola bars included. I hope you don't have nut allergies, because well, then you're screwed. Because all my granola bars include peanuts.
That's the next big step for the Towing Life podcast there, folks, is ready to go bags.
Yeah. Towing Life
Disposable.
MRE kits.
Yeah. Meals ready to eat.
My wife's selling that Epic here thing. I think it's they have pre-made. They're pretty much, I think they're buying old MREs and rebranding them. Let's get a couple off her and we'll put Towing Life stickers on them. You guys can find them at towinglife.ca.
I ate a few of those
$9.99.
when I was in Air Cadets. They weren't terrible. There was some that were pretty not so great. But I've also got weird taste buds. So you've never had one?
No, I can't say I have.
Oh.
I want to do a like off-grid backpack camping trip.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I would get them.
Mhm.
I just, it's camping, so I haven't figured out how you put a beer into an MRE, and it's going to be real heavy to carry a 2-4 out through the woods. So
yeah, you don't do that.
I don't know. I don't know what the backup plan is. I don't know what the backup plan is. But
Fine.
Speaking of drinking, have you seen this new hitch system? What a transition that was, ladies and gentlemen.
I have, and I like it. And this is
as
going to be another product where we are divided on, okay?
This is the ball dog all over again.
Yeah.
And the more that we debate these products, the less I trust you as an operator. The less I respect you as a co-host. I mean, these debates never do us any good.
I like it.
You like it. Okay, so if you guys haven't heard already, there's this product out. I've seen it posted a couple times on some social media pages called the Bakpulhitch. It is not spelled at all like you think it sounds. BAKPUL hitches.com. We'll play the video of this guy with one of these setups. I'm going to pause it right there. What is this monstrosity?
So for you guys not watching the video, what we've got here is we've got a device that slides into the trailer hitch of a disabled vehicle. And then you've got another piece that slides over top of that that has like a ball receiver underneath. So then you can put your trailer hitch ball on your wheel lift into that slot and now pick up the vehicle in question, the disabled vehicle, bring your wheel lift probably mostly all the way in, secure your wheel lift so it doesn't pivot, and now the truck is picked up on this device and it pivots on the actual ball hitch of said wheel lift.
So it is pivoting on the ball on your tow truck.
Yes. Yeah, it's not using the wheel lift pivot point at all.
Right.
Now,
it scares the living shit out of me.
Yes and no. So you can see the truck that he's picking up is a dually with a big custom bumper that's made out of sheet steel, but it looks what those things are normally pretty strong. I would fork something like that, right?
That's like 1/2-inch plate. You're not getting your forks on that.
You don't know what it looks like behind, okay?
I don't, but I got a funny feeling you're not forking off that. But okay, continue.
But if it's strong enough to fork off of, right, you're going into the same steel. And depending, I think this device is a class 3 for us. So it's a 2-inch receiver, not a 3-inch like a class 5 would be. So
I'm looking it up. It's on their website.
Yeah, look that up.
DOT certified exceeds class 4. I don't know what that means.
Exceeds class 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know what class 4 is. I know I have a class 5 on my pickup, which it's the 3-inch.
Perfect. Okay. So it apparently exceeds class 4. Cool. Next. Okay. Continue.
Now, this looks sketchy as hell.
100%. It is sketchy as hell.
Well, I've seen a lot of videos this company has posted towing lots of different things. And me personally being a record driver, not much used to it, right? For this vehicle in
I
question,
feel like you'd love it. You just throw your ball on your wrecker and you don't have to do anything anymore.
yeah, but I've got a weird aftermarket hitch thing that bolts on, and I don't trust that.
Oh, the
You know,
Vulcan
yeah.
bolt-on hitches.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm gonna shit on one day.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan on that, so I wouldn't
No.
personally do that. But if you got a wheel lift on your flatbed, which I hope you do, you probably got an actual solid ball mount, right? So you can put your 2 5/16" ball on there and run this device. With the wheel lifts on beds, you've got a lot of reach, but to be able to rear pick a dually with an 8-foot box or a big dump box on, it's probably not feasible unless you're running forks on your wheel lift, whatever the case may be. With this device, you can pick up the ass end of this truck, bring your wheel lift all the way in, and you can still make a full turn, right? You don't have to worry about the box hitting your bed. And you've got a lot of control on height because you've got control for your wheel lift and you've also got control on the actual device itself. Like if we go over to the picture.
Okay, hold on. I'll get the picture. There you go.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching, you can see how you've got 4 holes to choose from for your height on the actual device itself. And then you got your trailer pin at the bottom. And then you've got your actual trailer pin that goes in the disabled vehicle's receiver. Right. So it's a cool concept and it's got its own predetermined bend in it. So people think, oh, well, it's picked up on the wheel lift and that's not going to be perfectly straight. I like it. I've seen it pick up some heavy things and you can rear tow pickup trucks, most pickup trucks all day long to begin with without having to sling dollies. So if it works for these guys, it'll work for other people.
I think it's lazy. And I don't believe that it's engine, like, again, the hitches that the vehicles, yes, people have forked off hitches. I forked off hitches 100%. Depending on that big truck that you've seen with that back box, it might be less likely to fork off of the hitch on that. I'm going to the actual frame because of the weight. Looks like a heavy unit. I mean, you're putting in the trust in an operator that they're going to inspect the hitch to make sure that it is proper to tow it.
But let's be fair. And so a piece of equipment like this, an operator's going to go out and buy it himself, right? And if an operator's going to go out and spend the money to buy a piece of equipment like this, he's going to be competent enough to do those type of checks, or hopefully.
Ooh, that's a pretty hot take. I don't know if you've met some of the steering wheel holders this industry.
But the steering wheel holders in this industry, no offense to you, we need you steering wheel holders, and we just do.
They go out and they buy this, and they buy the ball dog. Yeah, I just called you a steering wheel holder.
Thanks, buddy.
I love you too.
You want to see how much of a dick TowManG is this week? Keep pushing them buttons, bud.
But no, it's putting a lot of trust in design. We have proven ways of towing. This is definitely not one of them. Not to mention, you are putting all the strain on your ball. You are leaving one center pivot point that is taking all the load front to back, side to side, everything. And it is your hitch. It is not the same thing as towing a camper. You can't give me that shit on your hitch. It's a completely different setup with the riser and everything else and the way the weight balances. A camper is low and spread out on the weight. This is a completely different setup. Everything is pivoting on that. You are pulling and wearing on everything. You are asking for a failure going down the road. This product, in my opinion, is not something that I would use past maybe a 2021 pickup truck. Anything that is 3 years old, I'm not trusting this, and I'm not going down the highway with this. This might be a move around a lot. This is a move around a lot tool to save guys from messing around.
Now, for that, yes, I would really think this would be a great pick it up, move it around, especially if you got a big outdoor yard.
100%.
Maybe. I still like this device, right? You do bring up valid points of now your whole center of gravity is in the center, right? And you can tip one side to the other.
Yes.
I
all
would
that extra side load that you're putting on the think of the hitch. The hitch on the vehicle that you were towing is meant to take the weight down with the suspension and everything included. Now we are pulling up on it. It was not designed for that. There is no manufacturer that'll say, yeah, absolutely, lift off of our hitches. You know what I mean? You cannot find that. Why? Because it wasn't taking into consideration during the design process. Now, You know what I mean? You're going to start towing all this stuff. Then you're going to add the tippy. Now what's going to happen is you're actually going to load the side to side wear on that hitch and on that pin. That pin that goes through, that goes into the casualty.
Yeah.
That pin has one purpose, and it is to stop backwards pull. Very little is down because the suspension actually absorbs that. That pin, you are putting a whole lot different pressure on
Well, that pin doesn't have backward or downward pressure because you've got the actual steel tube in there.
No, but now you've got the twisting. Now you've got the shearing. Now you've got the front and
But
back
it can't
and twist side.
in the receiver, right?
Enough load, you will. Hey, we've seen stuff twist, man. You and I both know. Yes, it's in there, but that receiver has a little bit of play in that thing. It doesn't slide in tight. We put hitches in. There's always that little bit. Now you're putting that twist to twist to twist. You are using a product on a vehicle that the vehicle was not designed to use for. And you are completely opening yourself up to the liability of it. I see all these guarantees that this company offers on their website, money back guarantee, 2-year warranty or lifetime warranty. Nowhere does it say if the hitch breaks off that, you know what I mean? Nowhere does it say that we assure that this, you know what I mean, will be covered if it breaks on a vehicle. There's none of that included in it because the vehicles weren't designed on this and you were opening yourself up to that liability.
I get that. Now, what if this product was made by one of the big manufacturers that we have in the industry and they've done so many tests on it and they proved that it works and it's safe to use? Would you like it better?
No, because that's what the ball dog is, and I still hate that thing.
The ball dog's a completely different animal.
Not really. It's still relying on that same pin that we're referring to, and that's where my problem lies.
So if that's your biggest issue, figure out what that pin's rated for.
I don't know. Look it up. That's something we'll look into for next week. We'll look it up. But it is meant for a purpose, though. It is meant to pull. It is not meant to lift. It is not meant to tip side to side. It is meant to pull. That is what it is engineered to do. That is what it is designed.
But
there's
the
different shear strengths
and
that come
pulling motion is not going to be on that pin. It's going to be on the device itself, right? Because that is where it's going to be
transferred down. That pin is still going to be moving around,
but
not moving around.
In the trailer head, the casualty is not going to be taking that weight.
So you're saying again, the hitch tube receiver on the casualty itself isn't rated for that. Isn't rated to be lifted on.
Yeah.
That's why we fork frames. That's why we fork axles. I'm not saying it would ride great. You wouldn't have the bounce of the suspension.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That tipping, that everything. And then the faith that you are putting in your operators to actually do that. Like, look how high up that thing. Think of where that pivot point of weight is. You're telling me that's not going to shear with some tip in the right corner with our roads? Come on, look at how that thing sits.
I mean, the tires right there are a good foot off the ground.
Yeah, give or take.
I've forked things and gone down the road with the same amount of clearance.
Yeah. So do it. This is a cheap cop-out product. I wouldn't trust it. I'd love to hear from you. If you work at Bakpulhitches, I know your website's on the show. Maybe I'll send you a copy of my take on it. And
even if you have one of these, give us your own honest opinions.
Yeah,
I've seen countless videos of these things working and towing things, and I'm not.
I have seen them all from the company themselves. I have yet to see one from a user, somebody other than the company promoting it, and that makes me wonder.
Yeah,
that makes me wonder. Not to mention, it also feels like you can suck your weight all the way in. I'm pretty sure he's over. Depending on, I don't know what chassis he's running on that, but there's a good chance they're going to be overweight on the truck.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be overweight on that rear
So
axle.
all you're doing is you're going to be overweight on the rear end without lifting the front tires. Congratulations, you have found a way to make illegal, but yet look better going down the road. That's all it is. That's all it is. I can't see this being a product that has.
But we see this all the time. If something's new,
I like new. I like the innovation. Yeah. Don't mistake that on this. I appreciate that when someone went out and said, I have an idea and built a product to test it. I think that is great.
Yeah.
I think trying to sell the product for what it's not is what I got a problem with.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is different. It's definitely unique, and we haven't seen anything like it before.
Yep.
I like it. Would I like to see actual real world tests with it? and some actual, this is what you can tow and this is what you can't with it. Like, give me some weights of what it can and can't handle. Give me receivers.
I know, because
that
I've
it works
been
well with.
to the website, and there's very little information on even their website.
Yeah.
They're why you need it. Why you need it is because you don't know how to frame fork. That's the gist of it. It's one
A lot of
paragraph.
flatbeds just can't, though, right? A lot of flatbeds don't have the weight capacity to actually frame fork effectively.
Well, then you don't have the weight capacity to use that either.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the argument here?
Well, you would have to have your wheel lift out further to be able to frame fork, right?
Again, if
You're still going to be carrying the weight way out.
the 8 inches out farther,
Yeah.
you're probably running you're running pretty close to your capacity anyways. The patent pending back pull hitch is made of heavy wall steel. It is strong and durable that your worst driver can't break it. I beg to differ.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Therefore, it has a double guarantee, lifetime, and my guarantee that once you use it, you will love it. So yeah, if you've used the ball back pull hitches, like I said, I hate to shit on your product. Send me some information on it. Maybe you can change my mind. We can come back on another episode about it. But as it stands right now, I think you are overselling a product that is going to get somebody hurt or killed.
I mean, it definitely opens up flatbeds for a lot more opportunities. If you can do it safe and legally and stay within your weight class, you have made your flatbed more capable of doing different things. And that I'm big on. I want one truck to be able to do everything safely and legally. So if this device can do that safely and legally, I will make sure personally that I have those in my trucks and operators are trained on those.
All right. Well, gee, I'll send you the website. You can go ahead and order one, and then you can try it.
Put my money where my mouth is, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to, put your money where your mouth is.
Speaking of putting money where my mouth is, we were talking last week about GOA fees, right? So cash up front before we roll a truck. I've got a story about this. I was sitting in my tow truck, and I actually had the manager in the passenger seat of my truck because it was raining and snowing and having rain coming into the trucks. His wife was in the back seat, and a call comes in. He's a dispatcher. He takes a call. It's a guy stuck in town. How much to pull me out? I'm stuck in some mud. $80. Right? It starts at $80. Starting at 80.
Yeah. You watch your wording because that's what they hear. It's $80. Cool. It's $80. Okay. Starting.
He
at,
said
driver will
starting
assess
at
$80.
80,
That's what I heard.
Right? The driver will give you a full price before he pulls.
Oh,
right?
that customer already thinks it's only going to be $80.
Yeah.
No matter what. He could be upside down.
We start rolling. We get 3/4 of the way there, and he calls and he cancels. Well, we were going into town to get dinner anyway, so we'll just swing by. He said that he got out. We want to see who pulled him out for less than $80.
Yeah.
So we go and we find this guy, and he's got 5 guys trying to push this little Kia out. He's still stuck, by the way. So he just called us back and lied to us, saying that he got out and he's still stuck.
Well, that's none of your business either way.
That's none of our business. So we pull into the parking lot adjacent to him and face him. Just sit there and watch these guys trying to push this car out because, hey, you called us. You said you didn't need us. We're here anyways. We're just here for the show, right? Yeah. Dick move, yes. But can you really blame us? No. So these guys are pushing and lifting up on the car and it doesn't go anywhere. So all these guys wave us over. So we drive around and he's actually stuck in some mud and some crushed up concrete beside a bunch of school buses. Like, I have no idea why this guy was over there in the first place, but he is. All we need is to do a little bit of an upward sideways pull, get that bumper out, and we're good to go. The car only needed to go about 3 feet and it's good to drive.
Yep.
So we back the truck up into a position and we both get out and we look and we're like, okay, we come up with a game plan. I flick the PTO on and I asked the guy, how are you paying today, cash or credit? And he was like, can you cut me a deal? And I said, speak to that guy because I have my manager there. He talked to him on the phone.
Yep.
I'll just start doing the rigging. They settled on $75, right? So we already gave him $5 off the original price that we were coming for there in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't not agree to it, but he doesn't fully agree to it either, which is just a weird situation. It was a younger kid. We were there doing the job. We get the car out. We pull the car up, set it down. I take my rigging off. He then turns and says, "I've got no money. I can't pay you.
Hop
I've
in,
got
Junior. We're going to
I've
an
got
ATM.
someone coming here to do it for free. So why didn't you tell us that before we started providing the service? Your buddies waved us over here, and now he was like, well, I'm not paying. And we're like, okay. So my manager tells me to block him in.
Yeah.
So I block him in. And we're thinking, okay, who's the guy going to show up? What tow truck driver is going to show up and be on his side? I was coming here to help you out, but you got these guys, you agreed or whatever, you called them first.
Yeah, they told you a price and you let them do the service. Now, this is why Ontario has all these new laws where you're supposed to get written estimates signed, blah, blah, blah. But okay.
So at this point, the manager tells me to hop in the passenger seat of my own truck because I didn't block him in well enough. He could still drive out of there. And I said, maybe you want to, me or you can, but he was the one that got stuck where he shouldn't have been stuck in the first place.
Yeah, his driving skills aren't exactly up to par.
Yeah. So he moves the truck even closer. So 5 minutes goes by and it's snowing. And the kid comes up to our window and he says, I'll give you $10 if you push the car back in the hole and leave.
I would have taken him up on the offer.
So this just pissed my manager off even more. So you're going to just throw away $10 after you just said you had no money. You can't afford to pay us. Now all of a sudden you got $10 just appearing out of nowhere for us to push the car back into the hole. And now if there's any damages done to the car, pushing it back into the hole, we're liable for it. So we're not going to do that. So then he says, well, can you do 60? He's like, no, you agreed to 75. You agreed to 80 originally on the phone before we even rolled a truck here. You canceled us. We got here. We gave you a deal of $5, right?
Yep.
So then another couple of minutes goes by and he comes back up to the truck and he was like, here's $70. I don't have a 5. That's all I got. Right? And he throws it in the truck. And my manager is a man of principle and he's not leaving until he gets his amount. He's the manager of the company. If he wants to throw the name through the mud, like the company name through the mud, make a stink, stand up for it, that's on him. I'm just sitting in the passenger seat being quiet, right? Being a driver, as much as I would love to do what he's doing right now, I don't have the authority to be able to do something like that, right? I'm not going to jeopardize the company. He can, because if he's going to call and complain, guess who's the phone line's going to? So we sit there for another minute, and his buddy that was going to pull him out for free shows up in a little Subaru car. No straps. He had a ratchet strap. He wasn't going to get him out in the first place. So he comes walking over. My manager gets back out and takes a picture of his plate. And lo and behold, this kid pulls out another $5 out of his wallet. Take the 5. See you later.
So he had the money the whole time.
He had the money the whole time. Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah. Like,
there's people trying to, and that's where you got to protect yourselves. And I get it. In a perfect world, okay, what do? Okay, you quote them a price, you get them to pay you, and then you pull them out. Let's be honest. The textbook world and the way things really work are rarely ever the same.
I've done cash up front before, and
I've done it when it feels
taste in the customer's mouth.
No, I've done it when it feels off.
Yeah.
And I had one. Remember the car we showed the video up or the picture up of the guy on its side said he needed a winch.
Yeah.
He wanted to go an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And I said, cool, we'll run the credit card, we'll get the payment done, and we'll be on our way.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the money. Yeah. I said, good thing we did this now, not an hour and a half down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta have trust in your gut, right? Our job, as much as it's about training, as much as it's about numbers and winch ratings and everything else, you have to trust your gut to a certain extent. You have to have that confidence to put faith in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to read the customer.
Yeah.
You're gonna get burned. Tell me a tow op that's never been burned.
Yeah.
Right? It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you do in that situation? I honestly at that point would have taken the $10, pushed it back in, and that would have been a fun moment to do. But yeah.
But then you're opening yourself up for liability, which is not worth the $10.
Again, in the perfect world you are. In the real world, are you really? Are you really? What was this car?
It was a 2016 Kia Forte with a little.
Yeah, okay. So it's thought some value to it, wasn't it? The 92 Honda Civics that I like to shit on.
No.
Which you treat every car like it's a BMW. But
I hate BMWs. Don't say that.
fun fact, off topic. Did you know Jeeps have the German engineered wheel studs?
Really?
I did a tire change on Jeep the other day that had the actual where it's a stud, not like
Lug.
the bolt, not a
Yeah.
stud sticks off that you put the nut on. Yeah.
A lug bolt.
Jeep's gone German.
Oh.
But no, that is the pain when he's got the money the entire time and he's literally just being a dick about it. But that's where, right, in a perfect world too, you would have your estimate signed as long as it's within 10 or 15%. I can't remember what the Ontario law is. Again, this might not apply wherever you are, but you have the written estimate signed, and then you go, hey, and if he knows I don't want to pay, you call the cops and be like, look, I have a sign. We agreed to the service. This was the rate. This is what I'm charging them. Cops aren't going to do too much. They're going to tell you to sort it out or take the car.
Yeah. And
we've had drivers take cars where they get to tow destinations. They don't feel right about it. They don't unhook the car. And the guy suddenly can't pay for it and doesn't want to pay for it and everything. And they have brought them right to the yard because under the Storage and Liens Acts for services provided, you can do that.
Yeah. And we've done that before.
I mean, they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
They can't pay for it. They argue the car's still on your bed. You try and exhaust every resource of payment. You try and offer them multiple options. And at one point you just give up and you bring it back to your yard and you can come get it and pay for the storage and the tow.
Yeah.
We don't normally, I don't think we've ever actually added the extra mileage to the shop for it because I mean, now you're just, putting salt on a wound is all you're doing. But it makes them come up with the money when it's still hooked up. And that's why you should always get paid before, we talked about it. Taking a deposit, pre-authing a credit card, something like that before you even roll to it. Yeah. But I really believe that we're coming. Hey, gas stations force you to prepay.
Yeah.
Why can't tow trucks?
Yeah.
Why are we so goddamn glorious?
I think one of the reasons
meet random strangers every day. And we're supposed to just put the trust of our good nature in their hands that they're going to pay us at the other end. Why wouldn't you make them prepay?
I think one of the biggest issues is we've always had it's got to be a fairly quick service, right? People are broken down inside the road. We're in a dangerous spot. Just get the car hooked up and deal with it later.
Yeah, that's
right.
Fair.
So
but you can, you deal with it before you unhook. This guy didn't sound like he was in a priority of a spot.
No, we're just on our way to go get dirty burgers for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And that's where, again, though, that has always been a thing of the industry. That is something where I think we are behind. You go to a gas station now with the rising fuel prices, they're making you pay before you go because why? Because theft of fuel has been on the rise.
Yeah.
Right? The more we're seeing guys get burned and stuff like that, why haven't we smartened up to that?
Yeah.
Why haven't we said, okay, I'm here. It's a safe location. Again, provided it's a safe location. If you're on the side of the highway, you hook up, you get off to the nearest exit and you go, okay, as we discussed, here's the rates.
Yep.
If you're not, I'll drop it right here. Tell me, but here's the rates. We accept cash, credit, debit, whatever you accept, whatever forms of payment you need to accept. And you settle up the bill. Now things do come up. And I think that might be the only thing that's holding us back on it.
Address changes halfway through. So now you've already got a signed, completed bill. Are you going to start another bill or
billing by the hour?
Yeah.
When we started getting stuff and then you hit traffic or unforeseen circumstances that add on to the time. But you can normally, pay pay the set rate. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather get burned that way and lose 10% of a bill because, something came up than losing 100% of the bill.
Yeah.
Or having to fight with a customer for an hour or any of those things. It's paid. We're on our way. When we get to the drop, guess what? I don't need to worry about this now. It's one less thing I got to worry about when I drop.
The shops that I normally deal with, like on a day-to-day basis, I'll normally not worry about the bill till after the car's dropped.
Well, that's fair because a lot of times the shop might even take the bill. Or would take the bill. Yeah.
If worst case scenario, I can tell the shop owners like, hey, this guy owes me money. Yeah. Don't release the car to him until I get paid.
And that's 100%. But we're talking about the private drop-offs, the garages out of town you've never dealt with.
Like cash calling customers. I pick up their car, get them loaded in my truck. I say, this is where we're going, right? Yep. Okay, let me write up the bill and I'll get payment here and now. Oh, why? Do you do this with all your customers? I was like, not all, but we're going far, and I just want to make sure that the company gets paid.
You want to save yourself some trouble? Just say yes, all.
Yeah.
Because no, not all. No, I don't do it for all of them. Just sketchy guys like you. That's a very good taste in their mouth.
No, I normally just say if it's going anything over 10 to 15 kilometers, we need to make sure the company gets covered.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair. Yeah, and if you're not from my small little town of 50 people, then I'm definitely making you pay up front because we don't trust anyone outside this little Hickville. So,
yeah, I guess.
G and his third world country of
It's
wherever it
not a
is he
third
is
world
living.
country, okay? I got a porcupine outside sleeping in a tree right now. The girlfriend keeps taking pictures of it and saying, "That's not a porcupine. That thing looks black." I was like, "Dear, it's 100 yards away. Of course it looks black."
She doesn't want to get closer?
No.
Tell her to get real close and get a picture of it. See what happens. That being said, G, we have got to get out of here. It has been another great time. We did not touch on all the topics. We'll carry them over into next week. Thank you guys for coming out this week. Absolutely. Go check out, if you have any questions, at the Bakpulhitches.com. If you're from Bakpulhitches, reach out to us. Don't forget to visit the website. Find the merchandise. We are coming out with new designs. I got a couple more that are on the go that'll be coming out shortly. G and I have been working very hard at this. Find us on Facebook at the Towing Life Podcast, or call us at 249-666-2209, www.towinglife.ca.
Please actually call us, like legitimately call us if you want to be featured on our show and say your piece. We can do that. I'm sure we have the power to do that, right?
I'm going to send them the voicemail. Oh wait, that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is to get the clips, right?
G, take us out.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Toodles.
Take care.